Yeah, that was the Kettering town. Who knows? But I know the man that could tell me. Mel Hopkins is my special guest this afternoon. We've asked him to stay on a bit longer because some fascinating facts about the Poppies, Kettering's football team, of course. 67, was that a good year for Kettering?
67? Why 67?
Well, just the record was from 1967. I just thought maybe, it was a good one.
I thought you knew more than me or something.
No, is it then?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, we were talking about firsts a little bit earlier on, and certainly one first. Kettering fielded effectively two teams in one season.
They fielded two first teams plus a reserve team. So it was disputed at the time, but the chairman says, we have signed 22 players, all professional players, and one side would play in the Southern League and another side would play in the Birmingham League. So that was it. They both was called Kettering Town. They managed to the end of the season. I don't think they tried it again, but I don't know of any other club who's ran two first teams at the same time. So, yes, that's another interesting first. I think the Poppies, 1907, another year with a 7 in it, another anniversary. What's that, 90 years? They were first called the Poppies, 1907, so that's, was that 20, 30 years after they were formed? Found. They were first, originally they was called the Kets. When they changed their strip, I think we were talking about football strips, weren't we?
We were.
Yes. After their chocolate and salmon pink, they went to red. Then they were called the Reds. So they were the Kets, the Reds, the Holy City Boys, because Kettering was nicknamed the Holy City because a traveller said that he'd never found any place in England the like of Kettering was so quiet on a Sunday, and it was nicknamed the Holy City. And it was not until 1907 when the local Pinken just made in a report for an FA Cup game, come and cheer the Poppies on in their poppy strip. So the Poppies was called after the red and white strip that they were playing in. I've heard other suggestions of that were Poppies something on the playing
field. On the field, that's right. Well, that's the one I'd heard.
Yes, but no, it was just to do with a red strip.
I'm trying to think what they would have been called in their chocolate and salmon pink, but I can't think of anything that's chocolate coloured and salmon pink. Or if I can, I'd have to be very careful what I said.
And the cobblers, by the way, they were first called the Babies, and the shoemakers, when they first... It was not until 1901, so that's 4 years later, they were first called the Cobblers. The Babies, because they was new to the league.
Oh, right.
New.
Not because they were a particularly young side or anything.
No, it was just because there was a new side.
You follow all the clubs in Northamptonshire. So what, Raunds and Corby too, and
I've followed their early history. Yes. It's such a shame when the likes of the town of Corby, which is football mad, I believe the other week they got an attendance of 40. Now, for a town the size of Corby, it's such a shame, but it's just the standard of football, I suppose, and they go to Celtic, Rangers, Leicester, anywhere bar their own team.
Ticket prices as well. I mean, money coming into the game back in 1872 when Kettering was formed, I expect it was just a...
Their first wage was 5 shillings a week in 1891. But... there was something else that you've got to imagine that it was the north of England that started the league football, the Football League. It was all northern teams and Midland teams down to Birmingham. South of Birmingham, there was no football leagues at all. So when Kettering turned professional and wanted to play league football, they had to join the Midland League. Although it was called the Midland League, they had to travel north to every single game because the nearest club was Birmingham. They won the league in 1893, I think it was, and they didn't apply to go into the Football League. They didn't think they was quite ready. Every team that had won the Midland League before them had gone into the Football League. Right. Kettering didn't think they was ready. They won it again in 1900, applied for the Football League, didn't get in. They were turned down. So they applied to join the Southern League. Now, the Southern League consisted of all London clubs, your Spurs, Arsenal, Southampton, Portsmouth. So look at the game. Where they had every game travelling north, now they had every game travelling south. There was no happy medium for Kettering. So it was that what more or less destroyed them financially because of the travelling expenses.
Yeah.
We was in a football no man's land, which was such a shame because every single club came to Kettering for their players, and they took them all from this area.
So they all went sort of on their general training through the poppies first of all, and
not so much the
creamed
poppies.
off the crop.
My own village of Geddington, the population 900, and 3 players from the Geddington football team went to play for league football. No, can you imagine that today? It just wouldn't happen.
No. You think what it must have been like for the supporters as well? We didn't have coaches going off and supporting in those days. So say they had a match against Sunderland originally when they're in the Midland League, or, you know, whatever it was.
One club Kettering have never, ever played.
Is it really? Was it? Why did I think of them then? Isn't that odd? Isn't that funny? Just sprang to mind. Perhaps with the red and white.
We played
again.
Manchester United, but they were called Newton Heath at the time.
Oh, well, it's not quite so romantic somehow, is it? Newton Heath. So what would Kettering have gone with any supporters to games like that if they had to travel? People surely couldn't have afforded to travel with them, could they? Did they?
Early travel, because when you think about the time that Kettering started, you had to play a club who was on a railway line because I think it was the Midland Railway line. So the first away games was Bedford and Leicester. So it was easy just to get on the train. Yeah. But for a game such as Raunds, it took 3.5 hours to get to Raunds.
You wouldn't believe it, would you?
No, and the first clubs that they played out of England when they joined the Southern League just before the start of the First World War, they played clubs in Wales. Now, it took 24 hours to get there and back. They'd leave Kettering something like 3 o'clock in the morning, get there 20 minutes before kick-off, lose 10-0, get back onto the train after the game had finished and get back in Kettering about 11:30 Sunday morning. It was... No. You've got to imagine what they went through in those days.
The love of the game. That's amazing. I can't believe it took 3.5 hours to get to Raunds.
To Raunds, yes.
I mean, when you think of the train network, it doesn't compare with how it used to be in that sense. So if you had to rely on trains these days, a similar thing would apply, I suppose, really, wouldn't it? Amazing. Mel, it's fantastic to chat to you this afternoon, and thanks for hanging on that little bit longer. Time is flying by. I know you still perhaps need a little bit of help with one particular season, not surprisingly post-war, 46-47, is that right, for memorabilia?
Yes.
What are you short of?
Photographs. It's photographs. I mean, I've got all the statistics and everything, but no photographs. But if people have got any the early years or anything, a book with photographs is far better.
Oh, of course. And talking of the book, we're hanging on for the possible promotion year, or the inevitable promotion year. Let's describe it like that.
When I was only halfway through doing the book, I started panicking because we were second in the league, and I thought, hang on, Kettering, I'm not ready. My book's not going to be ready.
Can you lose a few? Oh, dear.
But now I'm ready. Come on, Kettering.
Yeah, see what you can do.
Next season.
Do you think? I mean, how long do you think we're going to have to wait?
Well, on last Saturday, we played Kidderminster, who were top of the table, and we thrashed them 3-1. The week before, we played Stevenage, last season's champions, and we came away with the draw. So they've got a good side, and full credit to Steve Berry, caretaker. Well, not caretaker, but he's player-manager now. And the chairman, I must mention the chairman, Peter Mallinger. He's done a marvellous job with the club, and I just hope he stays. Yeah.
So win is inevitable.
Yes.
Let's say that, which means the book is inevitable as well. We shall wait with bated breath for that to appear. But thanks for coming in, Mel.
Thank you.
Next fixture, I ought to have checked this. What are Kettering doing this Saturday?
Stalybridge Celtic.
Yeah. What's your bet on what they're going to do in that match? What do you think?
Oh, win. Oh, yes, we're going to win. 3-0.
Well, there you are. The man that knows. I'm likely to have a bet on that. I'm 5, I reckon, on Kettering winning 3-0. And I should blame you, Mel.
And the reserves are playing tonight.
Are they? Well, best of luck to the reserves as well. Mel, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Lovely to chat to you.